Hey you guys, what's up? This is James here at Unique Perspectives. Thought I'd make another video. I haven't actually talked about this topic in a while, and that is the concept of the, guys admiring ladies with nice feet, or some people would know it more as the foot fetish discussion. So I didn't want to make this video too long, but I just wanted to talk about 3 reasons why I personally really prefer ladies with pretty feet. And so I really want to just dive into that. And please, for all the guys that can relate to this topic, please, I would love to hear your thoughts about this as well. Let me just say up front before I get into my 3 points, and they're not very complex or anything, but before I get into my points, I want to be very clear. I am a Christian man. I'm a conservative man. I am somebody who believes in traditional values, loving the Lord, believe that the Bible should be read every day, ideally. Right now I'm in the book of Philippians, so it's only 4 chapters. It's great book, really on joy and things like that. So, but I just want to remind you guys that as a Christian man, I do not believe that anything in this world, materials or otherwise, should come before a person's relationship with God. I'll say that again. I don't believe anything should be prioritized over our relationship with God. We should understand our gospel, the 66 of the books of the Bible. We should be able to explain it and things like that. And my admiration for ladies with nice feet, that's just one of many things that I enjoy in this world. But my priority is always God and His Word. So that is something I just want to establish. One of the things I love to share is Matthew 4:4. This is when Jesus was in the desert and he was being tempted by Satan. One of his first responses to Satan was, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. So it's really important that every Christian man especially, we prioritize our relationship with God. Now, let me just be clear. I don't knock any guy who likes ladies with nice feet. Sometimes there are guys that have, there's a spectrum that I've said in many videos that I don't think a lot of people outside of the foot community understand. There's a spectrum. There's a spectrum. There's some guys on one side that, maybe they like to massage their ladies' feet, or they like the idea of how beautiful a woman's calves look in heels or something like that. And that's one side of the spectrum. That would be more minor, and then you have the other side of the spectrum where some guys like to be kicked. Some guys like to be stepped on, and that arouses them. And that is going to be in the confines of your marriage. Whatever side of the spectrum you're on or wherever you are, that's your business, okay? So I'm not going to judge you. That's your business. And so I want to make that very clear before I get into my 3 points. So I feel like I needed to establish God first as a Christian man, always. And also, I'm not here to judge anyone based on what spectrum or where they are when it comes to their adoration for ladies with nice feet. So let me just get into my points. One of the points I'm going to share is, in my opinion, ladies that have nice feet, they tend to be more feminine, in my opinion. They tend to be more feminine. And I think we all will agree, regardless of where you are on the spectrum or who you are, even if you don't like feet, I think that you can have 2 sisters, identical sisters, and both of them can be very beautiful genetically from head to toe, okay? They can have beautiful hair, beautiful hands, beautiful feet, beautiful figure if they take care of themselves. And one is neglecting their hygiene and themselves, and maybe they're eating crazy, maybe they're walking outside all the time, scarring up their feet and not taking care of themselves, and the other is. And so there is something about a lady who takes care of herself. And so I really find that the ladies who have nice feet, they are taking care of their feet. They are conscientiously taking care of their bodies. Not only their feet, but they're taking care of their bodies. They're taking care of the different aspects of their bodies and things like that. They are taking care of their hands. They're making sure their skin is soft. They're making sure that their outfits look nice. They're making sure that, or they're not just throwing anything on, but they're conscientiously putting on things with the intent of being attractive. I'm personally, because I'm a conservative and I'm a Christian man, I don't need people wearing, or I don't need ladies necessarily wearing things that are going to be very provocative. Obviously I would like for, if there's anything that's going to be worn provocatively, that would be, within the confines of the marriage. We would do that stuff within the closed doors. But ladies taking crazy photos or adult sites and stuff like that, that's not something I would support. Okay, so I know that can be another discussion for a lot of us guys, but obviously I'm a Christian, so I have a different value system than some of you. But when it comes to ladies just in general, like I said, of taking care of their feet, it's usually a package deal. They're taking care of their hands. They're taking care of their skin overall. They're washing their hair when it needs to get washed. They are wearing outfits that look nice when it's time to go out. They have the intentions of looking attractive and feminine. And maybe the ladies exist that have pretty feet and they don't intend to do it, but there are a lot of ladies that they are caring for themselves and it enhances their beauty. And it's because they are, with intention, making sure that they look nice. I guess what I'm trying to say is, usually when I find a lady with nice feet or something, it's not by accident. She's intentionally taking care of herself. And it's not only her feet, it's everything else. So I know that I'm breaking this down and making it complex, but that's how my mind works. It's not only about, oh, hey, she has nice feet, and it's, oh, she has nice everything. So the feet is a representation of everything else to me. It's like a package deal. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. Number two, and this kind of aligns with number one, is more specifically the hygiene. More specifically the hygiene. I do find that ladies with nice feet tend to take care of themselves. Like I said, reinforcing point one, that they are feminine. But when it comes to hygiene, that is something that universally should be important for both men and women. You know, it's something that I think we need to do, not only from a biblical perspective of being clean. It's something that God requires of us as followers of Christ, but just to function in our society, and especially if you are dating and especially married, you know, you have to be around this person. So it's important that your hygiene is taken care of. You know, you're around people at church, at work, in your neighborhood, in your community, in your home, taking care of your children. It's important that you are on top of that. And I find that ladies that have nice feet, not only are they taking care of their femininity, but they are taking care of their hygiene as well. And I would like to think most of us guys would agree with that. Now, I will just say, and I feel inclined to put this out there are men on that spectrum that actually prefer women that have dirty feet. They don't want the woman herself to be dirty in any way, but the feet specifically, they have a thing for that. That arouses them, that they find that very attractive. And there are some guys that will intentionally ask their girlfriend, wife, just to wear shoes or socks for I don't know how many hours, whatever, just so they can smell the sock or smell the shoe later on. And if they're married, you know, that might even enhance that guy's performance later on. You know, so it's something that I just want to share because some of you guys probably don't know this. Maybe you're just clicking on this. You're like, who is this guy talking? You know, what is this guy talking about? Why he's talking about feet? You know, but yeah, that is something that happens. So, and maybe we can get more into that. I haven't made a lot of foot fetish videos in a while, but I know that some people are interested in this. I think that one of the things that I told myself I was going to prioritize is addressing this topic on my channel, not obsessively, but just addressing it because there are a lot of us out there, and unfortunately there are a lot of us that have there's a bad stereotype for guys that like feet and stuff like that, and that's another topic for another discussion, but that's something that maybe I'll address later on. But yeah, when it comes to ladies with nice feet, usually hygiene is a part of that. They're taking care of their feet, but they're taking care of every other aspect of their body when it comes to those more intimate things that they need to do as a lady. So I rarely have met or encountered a lady that has nice feet and she's just, I don't know, living on the street or something like that. You know, usually ladies are intentional about taking care of themselves, and usually it's a package deal as well. And number three, I'm gonna try to see how to explain this, but some men are more inclined to like a lady's feet than other men. Just like there are some guys that are more into a woman's breast or backside, things like that. So we all have different inclinations. I don't know if everyone is aware of that, but we have things that we kind of gravitate towards more when it comes to our attraction towards women. For example, there are certain skin complexions that I find more attractive with women than I would other women. You know, we all have different preferences when it comes to that. Maybe certain hair textures or the way a woman smiles or she laughs or smells. We have different inclinations, things that we are more inclined to be attracted to. So for me, a woman's feet really represents a very large portion of my physical attraction towards her. There are some ladies that they were a little bit more on the heavy set side, but they took care of their feet. I thought they were nice, and their feet actually ended up being rather small. And yeah, it was still kind of cute. So I was like, oh, okay, you know. So I think that some of us, maybe we're not aware of this, but yeah, the whole, you know, I like to call it men who admire feet or men who are inclined to admire feet, but people call it the foot fetish, you know, so whatever you want to call it. But some guys aren't more inclined for that. I think the plus side is, of course, you know, we are more likely to give our lady massages, and, you know, that can be a win for a lot of ladies that appreciate that. Imagine a hardworking lady working, you know, every day, and she knows that she has a foot massage waiting every single day, that her husband will never get tired, ever, of giving her a foot massage. To me, that's a win. Now, of course, there are some guys, and I feel like I need to address this. Of course, there are some guys that they take the admiring lady with nice feet to an obsessive level, at the point where they are willing to pay money for a woman to abuse them or, you know, do all sorts of things. And again, if it's within a marriage, you know, I may not necessarily completely agree, but, you know, I'm not going to dictate what people need to be doing in their marriages. That's your business. But, you know, there is obsessions where some guys have been obsessed over, and, you know, it's pretty common, you're right? There's guys obsessed with sex. There's some guys obsessed with breasts. There's some guys obsessed with a woman's backside. And then, of course, there are guys that are obsessed with just feet. Like, that's all they care about. So I don't necessarily consider myself on that side of the spectrum. I think that's a lot more than what I mean, I could say, you know, I'm not going to let a woman, you know, put me down and, you know, abuse me and things like that just because she has pretty feet. Like, I know that there are other women out there that will appreciate a relationship with me and stuff like that. So I would never allow a woman to abuse me in that way. But yeah, just thought I wanted to share that. I'll just rant a little bit. If there's anybody who agrees, disagrees, or you feel like I missed out on something, please feel free to share in the comments your thoughts. Like I said, agreements, disagreements. And I'll see you guys on the next video. See you later, and peace.